Chris, that's Tyler. The Guardians just lost Game 3 of the series 4-0. What's that? The same exact score as Game 2,
Same
but on the flip side.
Like almost the same game.
Yeah, very, very similar game, to be honest. Honestly, like, pretty boring game.
Yeah, I mean, from the Guardians standpoint, like, there's just that lineup was just never going to win that game.
I'm a Yankees guy, and that was a boring watch for me, too.
I mean, there was no home runs. There was a home run.
Belly hit the home run.
Belly hit a homer, but like
Judge just walked.
Yeah, Judge was pitched to the way that you're supposed to pitch to Aaron Judge.
Yeah, Judge was getting walked. Dominguez didn't flash the power. Goldschmidt didn't even play, even though he's top 5 in the MLB in batting average.
Yeah.
But when they started Ben Rice, they gave a day off. It was a boring Game 3. I guess I want to just lead with this. I mean, you know more about the Guardians than I do. I follow them pretty closely, but obviously you're more in tune with things. It does feel like every time the Guardians get traffic, that next group of guys up is always Bo and then Jhonkensy Noel, and it makes you feel deflated seeing those guys come up to the plate in big moments with the bases loaded. No,
Jhonkensy Noel, like, he's just not a major league hitter. That's just, like, plain and simple. He's not a major league hitter. His plate discipline is awful. His bat to ball, like, is not good either. And I don't understand, like, he's not good against left-handed pitch. I mean, I don't know what you do, because he's not good against left-handed pitchers. He's actually better against right-handed pitchers, but, like, that's still not very good.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he's also not playing. Like, it's also to sit here and comment on how bad somebody is, but they're also not getting consistent at bats. Like, it's almost impossible to be a major league hitter and not get consistent at bats.
Unless you've already had so many at bats,
yeah,
that you know how to work.
Unless you're like a 10-year vet,
right? That you can come in those moments and provide a competitive at bat. Like, I think Carlos Santana can come in and provide a competitive at bat. I think David Fry has seen enough at bats that he can come in and provide a competitive at bat if he pinch hits. But like guys who aren't playing every day, getting forced into the fire, like Noel, honestly, like you kind of saw it with Manzardo a little bit there. Like, I don't love him pinch hitting because I think he needs like a bunch of at bats to continue to develop. I just think, yeah, you're right on Noel. It's impossible for him to develop given his profile if he's not playing every day. But also, you can't afford to play him every day
because he's not very good.
And you don't have a long enough lineup for him not to play every day.
Correct.
For him to play every day.
It's just one of those things where, like, and then you have Will Wilson. Like, I don't understand. I just don't get it. There's nothing. He's not that athletic. He just doesn't look like there's any juice at all to like anything that he does. And you had bases loaded, and then you had Bo, and then you had Jhonkensy Noel, and that was the game. The game was decided right there.
Yeah.
And there needs to be some more, like, to me, and that's the situation where you bring David Fry in off the bench. That's why David Fry should be bringing off the bench, and Kyle Manzardo should be getting those at bats. That was the perfect moment for David Fry to play, to get a pinch hit at bat.
Why didn't they?
There for?
See, but also Manzardo was on the bench at that point too. Why didn't they pinch hit Manzardo there?
Could have done it there. I mean, I'm not arguing with that either. Like, but it's just in those moments. It's not even like Steve Vogt. It's like I mean, it is, but like, why are those guys even on the roster? Why are they playing? Like, that's my issue. Is like, you can't go into that lineup. You can't put that lineup on a lineup card and go face the fucking New York Yankees in New York and expect to win the game. That's not a winning combination. That works when you play the White Sox and the Royals and, the A's, and like, you can mix in that lineup to get a day. But like, if we're being serious about winning, and when you go play those big teams, like, you got to go put out a good lineup.
Especially against like Max. Like, it's Max Fried bump day. Like, it's not the day
not
to
like
have.
You're facing some average left-handed pitcher. This is the best pitcher in the American League right now.
And it did feel like Max Fried knew, okay, like, I can try to get these guys. Well, I can try to get these guys before them to get out, and I don't have to give them any pitches to do damage because I know even if they're on base, this group of three is either going to hit into a double play or strike out. And it felt like because Max Fried threw a lot of pitches, like through 5, he was at 91 pitches, but it felt like he was always in control, right? And usually when guys throw 90 pitches, yeah, most times when guys throw 90 pitches in 5 innings, you feel like, okay, they're really laboring, but it felt like he was always in control, and he didn't feel like there was no. The Guardians lineup constructed like this strikes no fear in his heart to where he feels like he has to nibble.
No,
you simply can't have that lineup up against Max Fried. Is the point.
No? It's just one of these, and like, I know that it's June 6th, but like, you are in a stretch of your schedule where you are facing really good teams, and you're 6.5 games back against the Detroit Tigers, and they're not going anywhere. They're not going to just let you back into this. And so you're on the precipice of being in a situation where you can't catch them. You have to keep pace if you want to win the division.
And so here we go. With that, I don't think today was a must win for them, but it would have been nice to be at least a little bit more competitive so that you leave this series feeling somewhat decent.
Let me ask you this question, Chris. Do you think this is the lineup they would have, if this was a playoff game and Max Fried was on the bump, are they going to run out John Kenzie Noel and Will Wilson in a playoff game?
I certainly hope not.
I hope not.
Yeah. I mean, as a Yankees fan, I hope so, but I don't think
if you are telling me that's who we're going to run out there in a playoff game because this is the way that we're going to operate, then this franchise is never going to win a World Series. Never. They'll never be able to get past this team if that's the line they're going to run out there when the game is really on the line. And to me, like there are moments in a season, there should be short windows where you are putting out your guys, to go win the game. Like this is
trying to deliver your best punch. Like I can say without a doubt, the Yankees went out there trying to deliver their best punch.
I mean, just imagine you go out there and you win the series against New York in New York. And then you come home and like that's some momentum type of stuff.
Well, and like you look back at the season and think, okay, like, yeah, we're 5 games back, but we won 2 series against New York, and then we took 3 out of 4 from Detroit.
Yeah,
are those the 2 best teams in the AL? I mean, probably 2 of the best 3.
I mean, the Yankees and the Astros are the top 3 best teams in baseball, as far as I'm concerned.
Or Yankees and Tigers.
Yeah, Yankees and Tigers and Dodgers are the 3 best teams in baseball. And
I guess. And how do you feel about the Cubs?
The Cubs can really swing it, but we'll see about their pitching. But I can't say that for sure because I haven't really paid that much attention, to be quite honest.
I think the Cubs are the number 1 offense, and right now in the NL they have 39 wins, so they've been really good. But again, just in the AL, the 2 best teams in the AL so far this season have been New York and Detroit. So you had a chance to take 2 series from New York.
So it's just a really frustrating thing, and I'm just, and now you get news that Shane Bieber is scratched from his rehab start because of elbows from his arm soreness. Like that's their entire season, man. They are riding. This pitching staff is being held on by Scotch tape because they're waiting for Shane Bieber. That's why they didn't make any moves.
Does this force them to look at trade deadline options?
I think so. I think the conversation, there has been a lot of discussion on social media about Jarren Duran, but I think that conversation needs to be switched to something else, like a starting pitcher.
Yeah, I do want to talk about Jarren Duran in a sec. Just real quick stand on this game. I think the most frustrating part if you're a Guardians fan has to be that when you go into this game and you look at the lineup and you see how the bottom of that lineup looks, you're not surprised by the score at all.
No.
I'm
not upset. Like I'm not like the sky isn't falling because they lost this game. It's more about like why they lost the game and how they lost the game. Like it's just a message being sent. Like, I mean, if this is what we're going to be and who we're going to be, it's going to be really tough to go to where you want to go. Like John Kenzie Noel and Will Wilson are not championship level baseball players. They're not everyday major leaguers. They're just not.
If today is the future plan for David Fry and how he's going to be used, is this team worse off with him here?
Yes. Kyle Manzardo he's just better. He's just more talented than David Fry. I know what David Fry provided on the first 8 weeks, and then he gave us 2 moments in the playoffs. But like, what are we doing? Are we going to be a fan base that holds on to moments in time, or are we going to like, I want to win? Like, I don't want a moment in the playoffs. I want the moment.
It does.
And the moment being winning the World Series.
It does feel like your worst nightmare is coming to fruition. You said a show ago that the one thing you did not want to see was David Fry take away at bats from Manzardo. And It feels like today was showing everybody, no, the plan is we are going to take some bats away from Manzardo.
And I think we're going to really find out tomorrow. When they face Houston and there's another left-handed pitcher on the mound, are we going to see Manzardo in the lineup? And my bet you is we don't.
And I think I would understand it more. But then when Manzardo hits a home run yesterday off Cruz, who's been so nasty all year, why not put him in the lineup again?
I'm very curious. I'll be refreshing the Twitter feed to find out what the lineup is for tomorrow's game. Because I don't know, man. That'd be 3 out of 4 days the kid doesn't play. And like getting a pinch hit in a 4-0 game in the 9th inning is not moving the needle for me.
And he put a good swing on it. It's just like nice to see if he was able to put like 3 or 4 of those swings in a game. Especially, bro, like here we go. Just real quick. And I'm obviously like Yankee guy. Manzardo in Yankee Stadium horrifies me.
I mean,
with that short, like his swing is so built for Yankee Stadium.
Yeah. It's just one of these. It's just there's a reason why this franchise has struggled to develop young hitters, and it's because they just don't let them go out there and like learn and figure it out. Angel Martinez, Kyle Manzardo should each be getting 500 at bats this season. They just should.
No, I agree. I'm a big Angel guy. I think Angel's got huge upside.
But at the very minimum, all you're doing is you're finding out.
Yeah, so we don't have to have this year over year trying to figure out who these hitters are. So like we're gonna
find it out.
Mm-hmm.
Like Nolan Jones, I think I know who Nolan Jones is. I don't know who Martinez is yet. And like I know people like Nolan Jones, and maybe I'm not as high on Nolan Jones because like I know he's having a good stretch, but we're based off a guy who spent 2 years in Colorado, couldn't stay healthy, and had 109 good games in Colorado.
I think it's the power potential.
He's on the baseball in Colorado, like it's going to go out.
I think it's like what we saw from like from John Kenzie last year. Like you fall in love with the power potential. I think you're seeing that again with him.
Maybe, but like he's hit 2 homers this year.
But they've been crazy ones.
Majestic.
Yeah.
You know who also hits majestic homers that we don't talk about is Bo Naylor.
Bo Naylor's home runs look so pretty though, dude.
I know, and so did Nolan Jones, but like at some point, like the results have to matter. I understand exit velo and expected batting average, but like the numbers, the facts of the realistics, like the stats that are real, that have actually happened, like those have to matter though. And he's hitting 210. I mean, it's gotten better. I'm not saying like he doesn't deserve to keep playing because he's earning it, but I don't want to sacrifice young. I'm tired of sacrificing young players. We've been sacrificing at bats for young players for half a decade now, and look where it's gotten us.
I wish I could somehow, for Guardians fans, I wish I could fuse Jhonkensy Noel and Nolan Jones together, because Jhonkensy Noel swings at everything. Nolan Jones is a meatball merchant and watches way too many pitches go by. It's like you just want somewhere in the middle.
Well, there's a pretty good one in AAA right now. 2 of them, people think. There's 2 good ones in AAA.
I love Kafis, dude.
I don't know what you're waiting for. Is this about the clock starting?
I think it's more about they don't want to add an extra bat and like create more confusion in terms of who goes where. I mean, dude, they want to give Nolan Jones an extended chance. I'm just telling you, bro.
I know, I get it, and it's just, to me, it's like at what point are you? Again, we all, and you bring it up way more than I do, but like we're just wasting. We're wasting Jose Ramirez. We're just wasting it. And this might be his Picasso year.
This looks like his Picasso year. He's going to finish second in the MVP.
I mean, and it's just to me like, and we're wasting it because we want to see if the big, tall, white guy can actually like, if he's Bradley Zimmer, who he was supposed to be.
Yeah,
I don't know, man. To me, it's just frustrating. Like the lineups they put out there sometimes are just really disheartening.
Is Junis a punt arm, or is Junis does Vogt see something in Junis and that's why he keeps going in at 2-run games?
No, he's the. I don't know if I call it a punt arm, but like it's very clear that Stephen Vogt will not use the big four unless they're like tied or winning the game. He just won't do it.
Okay.
So I don't know if I would call Junis a punt arm, because I'm pretty sure that if they were down by like 6, I don't know if Junis would have came out of that bullpen.
He's the let's hold it and see where we are next inning arm.
Yeah, he's like, give us a chance and see, if our offense can scrape something together. So, but like but at the same time though, if Stephen Vogt really like in his subconscious believed that they could score runs in that game, he would have brought in somebody else.
Yeah.
But like but think about it, he's making a decision like, who should I pitch? And then in the other hand, he's looking at his lineup card and he's like you can't, there's no way that he's a human still.
Wait, what they go? Zacconi to Junis
to Allman, to the lefty.
Yeah, and
then they brought in Enright to finish the game. It's just disheartening. Sometimes the lineups are just very like, what is this?
Mm-hmm.
So it is what it is, and the Guardians are doing what they're supposed to be doing. They're just hanging around waiting for Shane Bieber. The problem is now this wait is now going to get longer.
Yeah, they got to hang on a lot longer, or not a little bit longer.
We don't know how long it is, but it's definitely going to be longer now.
We
were looking at getting like 2 to 3 starts before the All-Star break.
Now, I was really excited to see him.
Now I don't think you're going to see him. I don't think you're going to see him before the All-Star break.
Yeah, I'm not even going to the game tomorrow anymore, man.
No, I probably won't either now. So
I was excited. I was excited to take my camera. If you would have went, bro, I would have mic'd you up and been like 5 sections away, just like so I can capture you and Bieber with your voice talking. Is what I was gonna do. I was gonna make it a full spiel deal.
Yeah,
make you look cool. It's gonna be really cute and artsy. I guess before we get out of here, I want to talk about the Browns just real briefly. Shador is the only quarterback that hasn't gotten any first team reps. Reportedly,
it's going to be a movie, dude. This whole offseason is going to be just, everybody thinks that nobody. I don't think anybody knows shit.
But the thing is, like, we've seen people at practice though. It feels like they're like Shador is not rapping with the ones. Like we've seen that. Like I've watched all the Cameron Justice videos, which it's so funny. I love Cameron Justice. She's awesome. It does feel like every time she gets a video of Dylan Gabriel, he gets shorter and shorter.
I mean, there's film out there of his practice stating it was bad.
Yeah, that's from Cameron.
It was bad.
Yeah, that's from Cameron.
Yeah, it was not good. It was bad. He looks small. He just looks like he waddles around like a penguin.
It's Honey Who Shrunk the Quarterback.
Hearing that the Shador hasn't had any reps with the ones makes me think that the Browns don't know what to do either. They're like panicking. They don't know what to do.
Doesn't it make it seem like they felt like fuck Shador's still here and it's round 5? Might as well.
It makes you think that Jimmy Haslam called down was like, you're taking Shador.
It does.
Like.
It does. I'm glad you brought that up. It does have an element to that because above all else, what is Haslam?
He's a meddler.
He's a meddler and he's a businessman.
Mm-hmm. And I mean, name a team that's going to get talked about more in the preseason than the Browns.
Nobody. I wish they would have been eligible for Hard Knocks.
I also like when I see Dylan Gabriel struggle like that. I also wonder, like, Kevin Stefanski, like, dog, what are you looking at? Because that was Kevin's guy. That's a Kevin pick.
When they brought him on a top 30 visit.
Essentially, he said it.
It's funny because like last week, my confidence in the Browns was like, oh wait, they might actually have some quarterbacks because it felt like Shador was playing really well, and he is. They said, he's had a good camp so far, and you find out, he's facing the guys who are probably the phrase used was that are going to be working at UPS during the season. Shout out UPS, but it's like when you hear that, it's like, okay, like, is anybody even watching Shador?
I mean, from everything we've been hearing, is Shador is playing very well.
Mm-hmm. But the temper has been like, but it's look who it's against.
Sure. But like, who else has been playing well is Joe Flacco.
Mm-hmm.
And like the other thing too is like Joe Flacco's going to look good at OTAs.
Oh, he's going to like the man at OTAs.
I mean, there's not a single defensive play that Joe Flacco hasn't seen.
Right.
And so like, to me, I don't trust the Browns to handle this the right way because they've never shown us that they can handle this the right way.
Who are the 3 quarterbacks on roster?
I mean, I've already told you that Kenny Pickett's the odd man out.
Okay, I was just wondering.
In my opinion, Kenny Pickett is gone. Kenny Pickett's going to get traded.
Okay. I was wondering who you thought was going to get the axe. I think it's going to be Kenny Pickett, but the more I hear that, like, I wonder. They won't cut Shador, right?
No.
Because some people think he could start most of the year. It's so funny because like this is the most like discrepancy I've heard about a quarterback in one world. Because if you look at certain places, it's like I wouldn't be surprised if he started as soon as week 4. You go to other places, it's like, well, he's only playing with the 3rd and 4th stringers. I don't even know if he's going to be on this team. It's like major discrepancy in the media and other NFL teams. Because I follow multiple NFL teams. I mean, in particular, I follow the Giants. You do not get that much discrepancy from the media given a single player. You never get that.
Jimmy Haslam is not going to cut Shador.
Okay.
You want to know why? Because as soon as Shador starts a game, if Shador's first start is in Cleveland, it's a sellout.
I would almost guarantee that Haslam makes sure that his first start is in Cleveland. He's not going to miss that opportunity.
I mean,
right?
Joe Flacco. I mean, everybody needs to get ready for Joe Flacco to start week 1. It's going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
Kenny Pickett's not going to be here. That's fine.
It's going to be fascinating.
Dylan Gabriel is he's a career backup. The closest, the best comp you could ever get is Brock Purdy. Like if Dylan Gabriel turns into Brock Purdy, I would be stunned.
Yeah. The other thing with Brock Purdy is that it was so stable everywhere around him. The offensive line was good. You have Christian McCaffrey. You got Deebo Samuel. You had Ayuk. Like, we handed you the keys to a nice car. Right now, we're handing Dylan Gabriel the keys to an 06 Chevy Impala with 310,000 miles on it.
I was going to say a Honda Civic, but a Honda Civic's too reliable.
Super reliable. That's why I went Chevy Impala. What has not gotten talked about that I am curious your thoughts on? Who do you give the bulk of the running back carries to?
I don't. I think you just roll with the hot hand in the game.
Okay, because my thing is, are we sure we want to put a ton of miles on Quinshawn, but we know we're not going to compete this year?
I think running back is a position where you run them motherfuckers into the ground and you just go get another one.
Saying like, don't run them into the ground yet. Like just let the engine run a little bit and don't drive it around.
Listen, this offense is going to go back to the 2020 offense. They are going to run the shit out of the football. It wouldn't surprise me if they both averaged like 18 to 20 carries a game. Like, that's what their average was.
That's kind of absurd.
I mean, it's going to look... Kevin Stefanski's running it's his playbook, and he's calling the plays.
Yeah.
You're going to see a boatload of play action, a boatload of bootlegs, and a whole lot of stretch zone.
What quarterback does that benefit the most?
Joe Flacco.
Shout out Joe Flacco.
Because when you play under center and you do play action, the quarterback has to turn his back to the defense. And he's by far the best one at doing that.
Yeah, he's not going to cheat it because he's panicking.
Correct.
And that's what you need, especially from a young guy.
So
it's wild. Big Ten SEC nonsense still. I mean, the SEC still refused to add a ninth game.
Brutal, man.
And
the SEC right now is the toddler that's throwing a tantrum because they're not getting their way. The Big Ten has won the last 2 national championship games. The SEC hasn't even played in either one of them.
Yeah.
And they're starting to realize that they're not the kings of college football anymore. And so now they're kicking and screaming. And it's not even like, not that I agree with the 5 plus the 5 autos with the 11 at large, because I don't want the committee to have that much. It's more about that. I don't want the committee to have that much say so.
Yeah, I'm a believer in tell me before the year what I need to do to get there. Because, like, here we go, Tyler, just real quick. If someone told you before the year, if you do this, this, and this for the next 6 months, we'll give you a raise, or would you rather them say, hey, just do a good job, and at the end of the 6 months, we're going to all meet and decide if you get a raise? What would you prefer?
The first option.
Tell me what I need to do to get the raise.
My personal, so yes, the 4-4-2-2 whatever follows that. My thing is, like, I think this season the playoff format is as good as it can ever be. It's my opinion that this season, with the 12-team playoff, with the four conference championships getting an auto bid, not the auto bye, and then you rank the 12 teams and the top 4 teams get a bye. That's going to be the best it can be. I think that's going to be the best. This whole 16-team thing, like, there aren't even 12 teams that can win the national championship. Why are we going to 16?
Yeah. No, I agree.
Everybody's bitching and complaining about Arizona State getting in and Boise State getting in. Then you're going to have more of those teams.
I agree. No, I mean, I think obviously, like there's never more than 8 teams at a time that can win the title. I think
the 12 team is like this. I think this season is going to have everything you want, everything everybody wants. The regular season is going to matter. The conference championship game is going to matter, and then we're going to get the seeding that we clamored for last year, and it's going to be perfect.
Yeah, I think it's going to be good.
Everything that the 12 team, everything that we want for college football, the drama, the urgency, the conference championship games mattering, like this format gives you all of that.
I mean, I agree. I if we're going to go to 16, I don't want the committee involved. I want them involved as little as possible.
I agree with that. If we're going to go to, and we are going to go to, and so I'm kind of talking about a moot point because, like, they started talking about 16 before we even played last year when we had the first year of 12. So we're going to go to 16.
All right, we're going to 16, and if we're going to 16, like, I want the committee to have as little say as possible, and that's why I don't like that the SEC is trying to strong arm into this 5-11 when they've got 8 conference games instead of 9.
Does it bother you that Tony Petitti's not saying anything?
To an extent, yeah, because I feel like Greg Sankey's can grabbed all the power, like the public optics power right now. And I don't love that, but at the same time, like, I know that Tony's also working behind the scenes to take a stance and like, hey, look, we don't want 5-11 if the SEC is only going to play 8 conference games.
Yeah, I also think that my other thought process is that Tony Petitti knows that, like, we're good with 4. You want to go 5 plus 11? We'll probably get 5.
Yeah,
we could play any game, any game that SEC wants to play. We'll play it
because I think he knows that we're going to be better than them moving forward.
Correct, and the Big 12 and the ACC supporting this 5 versus 11 is insane to me. But you made a very good point this morning about that.
My theory is that the Big 12 and ACC are doing this because they need the Big 10 and the SEC against each other. Because before, the SEC and Big 10 are moving lockstep and just bullying them. And them throwing this and saying they support this is now creating the Titans fighting. And that's good for them.
The 5 versus 11, if that becomes the 5 plus 11, if that becomes the case, within 3 years, there will be 2 conferences. And it will just look like the NFL.
Yeah.
Because if you give the power to the committee to do at-larges, brother, none of those Big 12 and ACC teams are getting in besides the conference champs.
Mm-hmm.
Why would you not take the guaranteed 2? Like, it's arrogance to think that you're going to get 3.
If you don't think if you think you're not going to get screwed, you like everything that comes to you is going to be rough.
Oh man, dude, it just makes no sense to me. But I mean, I get it. If you think that that's a valid thought process, that they're trying to like keep them against each other, but at the end of the day, the 5 plus 11 is going to result in the Big 10 and the SEC just being like, okay, we're going to handpick the rest of you, and then we're just going to play a 2-conference thing.
Yeah.
And it's going to be the AFC and the NFC. Or the North versus South.
North versus South. It's fascinating times, dude. Fascinating times. I don't really have anything else. It's just a quick episode because it is late at night. I don't even know how to hear me out today.
No, not tonight. I had one, but I forgot what it was. It was
late.
Actually pretty good.
It's 10:30 now. I'm probably gonna try to get this out before 11 on a podcast on YouTube, just because in instant reaction to the Guardians Yankees series coming to a close. Yeah. Who do the Guardians have next series?
They're hosting Houston, and they have the Reds. So they got 6 games in a row. They'll play 9 games in a row.
Oh. Get ready. And then are you expecting any roster moves before tomorrow?
I don't know. I don't know what they're going to do. They're stuck. What's the point of bringing up DeLauder and Kafis? They're both hit left-handed.
I think that the Guardians are too prisoner to the whole platoon.
They are. It's
disgusting. Are. They're so prisoner to it. Like, my brother, go get good hitters. Go let good hitters grow.
Good hitters hit anything. If you're a good hitter, it's the same thing I used to tell kids when they come back. You know, kids come back like, the pitching is so slow, I can't hit it. You know what? Good hitters hit anything. And
when you stick these kids into these platoon mindsets super early, you never give them a chance to grow. No. So, all right. I'm Chris. That's Tyler. As always, be a friend, tell a friend, sub, all that, and we'll be back probably with more of a wrap up on Monday with a longer episode, classic hour episode.
Yeah, no doubt. Peace.